The views and opinions on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts, ownership, or management. And now, on with the show.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Get your copies while they last. Stop the presses.
And now for something completely different.
Are you ready for a little truth? Are we not entertained? Wisdom is the proper use of knowledge and experience. There are no safe spaces here. The truth shall make you free. It's showtime! So you want the truth, but can you handle the truth? Well, here's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Now that's entertainment. Enlighten me a little. What you say is quite logical. And what did we learn? Prepare yourself for a little sensory overload. I came here for the truth. 47 years ago, stand by the roll show intro. Roll show intro in 3, 2, 1, go.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Hello, America, family, friends, and listeners all around this planet we call home. This is the Craig L. Hayes Show. I am Craig L. Hayes, and today is the 3rd of February, 2025, and we're going to continue on our series of showbiz behind-the-scene interviews. But before we get to that, I first want to take and thank Cammie Christensen, the president of the hotel. She has allowed us to come into Elvis Presley's dressing room to do this show from, along with Dawn Rawl. She's the entertainment vice president, also marketing vice president, and John Pierre, technical director for the hotel, for their support. I thank them very much and appreciate that we get to do this, a little bit of a history class through entertainment, both here in New York, Chicago, all over the world, basically, we've been talking to people from. So anyhow, we're going to continue down our series of showbiz behind-the-scene talks. And today I have a friend I met about 2004 when we put in Barry Manilow, I think, somewhere around that vicinity. And the first time we did Barry Manilow. And so he's going to be in here talking to us. He's a New Yorker. Don't hold that against him. He's perfectly fine. He doesn't bite, anything like that. He's fine. But it's a great honor and it's a privilege to have him here. His name is Leo Hauk. Leo, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So good to have you come on to the show here and have a little chat about entertainment. Like I said, it's more of a history thing. We're just going to give the history of people's lives in entertainment and tell people what it's like working behind the scenes. And try to get a little purview over what goes on and, how that magic that people pay to go see happens and happens hopefully flawlessly every time we do our job right. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, folks. And Leo's got an interesting perspective, having worked in New York and Las Vegas in showrooms and such. So he's going to have some, probably some comparisons, a little bit how things are different in the two locations. And so anyways, Leo, why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm from Long Island, Oceanside, New York. I got into the business, I guess, 1982 or 81. My girlfriend's father was a big shot in CBS, and so he asked me if I wanted to work one day, so I said, sure, I'll come in and work. So I got the money, and I said, all right, I like this job. And I started at Search for Tomorrow, soap opera, loading trucks outside. They wouldn't even let you in the studio. We're freezing, cold, chairs, nothing. We have to sneak some beers here once in a while,
No coffee, beers, right?
Beers, keep you warm, brandy. But they wouldn't let us in, Even if it was snowing, we had to shovel, push the dollies. It was crazy. But that was first, and then
You had to break in somewhere.
right,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what it is.
then I worked for CBS for As the World Turns. I started as a carpenter, then I started to run a light board for them, and we got an Emmy for this. We did this rain scene, and the lighting director says to me, "Just point those park cans all over the place, and we'll touch them up when I come back Monday." So they won an Emmy for that. I got a plaque from that. My wife put it in the garage. I said, "The only thing I ever wanted, you leave it in the garage."
Spouses sometimes don't understand it,
So then after CBS, I worked there, I guess, 5 years. I did a lot of Broadway installs. That was like my apprenticeship.
What shows? Do you remember some of the shows?
Oh, yeah. I did Sweeney Todd. I did Les Mis.
Les Mis.
I got stuck under the deck there. They had to pull the deck up. Because years ago, they used to have that chain that drives the turntables. Mm-hmm. And it fell off. And the stage was on a rake. And I was the only skinniest guy, so I went under there. And I got the chain back on. But then my light went out. And I got all disorientated. And they had the insulation from the house insulation under there. And it was getting in my eyes, and I was getting all frantic. So they had to pull the deck up. It took like 3 hours for them to get to me.
Wow.
It was crazy. And the guy's going, "Leo, stop smoking." I go, "How the fuck?" I'm sorry. "How am I smoking? I'm down here." Somebody else was smoking. That's when you used to be able to smoke on stage. That was crazy.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
then I left As the World Turns, and I went to the Metropolitan Opera House. I worked for a guy named Arthur Ashington. His name was K.O., nickname. He was a prop guy there. He was one of my favorite bosses I ever had. He was such a nice guy. And he knew his stuff because I got the job through Wally Rapp, Jr. His father was the head carpenter at where was it? Carnegie Hall.
Wow.
So he was pretty sharp. All those kids are, the Rapp boys. And we worked under his license. He had a GC license, contractor's license. So we worked under his license at the Met because he was like 26 years old and he had a commercial license. He was really good at construction, this guy. Amazing. So we had 7 or 8 guys, and that's what we did. We built offices. We had a warehouse on 129th Street in Harlem. You go there during the day, otherwise they'll kill you. But anyway, it was an old car dealership, and it was 2 stories. And we had these costumes on racks upstairs, and they had a driveway, and it went right to the street. So it took us 2 weeks to get the costumes down, and the wheels are breaking off, and we're going down, and falling all over the place. So like the 3rd day, my boss comes pulling up, and we're racing down this driveway with the costumes on. He goes, "You guys are going to get killed. You go right to the street." So that was a warehouse. We built a shop upstairs. I think we used 5,000 sheets of half-inch plywood, and we used, it's called vermiculite. It's like that stuff they put in fireplaces, that fake-looking stuff that rocks.
Like fake stone
Yeah,
stuff.
and the floors were so bad that we had to screed it with 2x4s. We put that down, and then we put 5,000 sheets of 3 plywood, three layers. That we painted it. We started the roof. We put the roof. We did the parapet wall. We painted the whole thing. Put 8-inch dust collecting system in there. Did a lot of work, man. He kept us busy all the time.
Nice.
And then one time, there's these 2 paintings in the front of the Opera House that Chagall, this famous artist, and they have scrims that they put in front of them during the day so the sun don't bleach them,
Yeah.
So you know how the scrims start to shrink and they get that hourglass on the end? Mm-hmm. So he says to me, "Leo, we need to go add a piece of track. We're going to get a new rag to put up there." I said, "Okay." I didn't get my harness, so he comes out of I guess he was in Philharmonic or something, or the State Theater, and he looks up and he sees me hanging on a piece of hemp, 6 stories, with no harness. He goes, "What do you want to get me fired, Leo?" I said, "No, I didn't have time to get it." He goes, "You got to put a harness." But that was crazy. And then we put a psych in there at the Met on a Sunday. They closed Amsterdam Avenue. They had to bring this telescoping truck and close off the streets because it was like 100 feet long and it shrunk up. So I took like 2 weeks and I was chiseling all the concrete off the beams. And they, so they could weld the brackets to use chain motors off chain falls. So Sandy Hacker, at the end, after I worked like 3 weeks for that, made the brackets, but I wasn't certified, so they had to get a guy welded, you know, one of the guys. And the night before, I think we were making crazy money because it was Sunday, you know. We had to be in at 5. And they where the dock was, they have the project's right across the street. So the guy had to swing there. He shouldn't park no cars there. We get there, and there's 3 cars parked right there. So my boss is going, we only have a couple, like 8 hours or 10 hours to put it in because the show's going to start, you know?
Yeah.
And it came from Germany, this psych. It was 125 feet, seamless. I forget how much. It was $8 million or something. The box it came in looked like somebody made a cabinet out of it. That's how nice it was.
Wow.
So there's 3 cars there, so holding up right away. So my boss goes, what are we going to do? I said, we got 25 guys here. We'll just move them. So we picked up these 3 cars, about 20 of us. I think it was a 79 Impala. That was a heavy one. And a little Chevette. We started walking with the pallet. We got about 200 feet. Then you hear the wheels going, because everybody's getting tired. We got them out of the way. So Sandy Hack, I was saying, he's watching us do this. And he says to my, he was the electrician there. He says to Kale, he goes, are you going to put chain motors on those points to bring in the psych? He goes, yeah, why? He goes, because my guys are going to run them, the electricians. So he sends me to the warehouse to get these chain falls after we did all the work, you know. So they bring it in, and then we're telescoping in. 4 hours we had that baby up.
Wow.
The bottom of the psych was 25 rows into this house. So they're going, how are we going to move it? They use the wagons to pull it. That was my boss' idea. He was amazing, this guy, Kale. He loved me because I go up high. He goes, Leo, they have these galleys they're called G1, 2, 3, and 4. And the guys are up there. They assist the pipes. They have boat hooks.
Okay.
And they grab the cables so the headers pass each other so it's so tight. That's their job, each floor. So there was a leak somewhere in the wall. So I had a genie up there on these little catwalks without the outriggers, and I'm drilling. And the thing going like this. You don't know you know, you're paying attention to what you're doing. He goes, you better tie it off at least, Leo, because it was going like this.
Waving all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a friend of mine needed work. Tommy Robinson, his name was. So we bring him to the warehouse. We had to dig these trees out, the stumps. He goes, I'm a state. Whatever it took, we did, man.
Well, yeah, if they're paying you the rate, yeah, have me
They
sweep.
loved us. We had a retired cop was our supervisor, so we drove him crazy. There was Gray crying. He just passed away a couple of years ago. What a nice guy, too. There was like 7 of us. Then one time, it's David Rapp, which is Wally's older brother, and we all worked for Wally pretty much. So it was Wally, David, and we're making a ticket booth. And they're fighting about their brother Fran, get him work because he needs work. Before you know it, Wally picked up a gallon of plaster weld. It's stuff you put on the walls so it sticks to, plaster sticks to it. Mm-hmm. And hit his brother in the head with the gallon of plaster weld. So David picked up a C-clamp and creased his head. This space was 10 by 10, and there's 5 guys in there. So if you fight, you get fired immediately. So my boss comes in. He goes, what dropped on your head? But these guys, I don't forget it.
Yeah, slipped on a bar of soap, whatever you want to say. Yeah.
So that's where I left. And then I came to Vegas in 1990. I came out here because I broke my foot in ABC. They call up the Opera House. They say, you guys want to do a 4-hour call? We need guys. So it was Christmas time. I said, all right, I'll go. As soon as I got there, the first piece of scenery they put off the dolly, right on my foot. Boom. Double door. So I went home. I called my wife. She was pregnant with my first boy. And I said, you going to pick me up? No. She goes, I'm pregnant. I ain't coming to pick you. So I cried walking home that night. I got there and I broke my foot, so I had 8 weeks off. So my mom moved out to Vegas. So I came out to see her. So
What did she move out here for?
she just, my dad died when we were young. When he was young, 50. So we grew up, my brothers, and she didn't stay in the house. She sold the house, and she came out here. My aunt was out here.
Just
So-
a change of scenery type
Yeah,
thing?
because, you know,
I
she-
got you. Yeah, okay.
So she came out here, and she got sick in 3 years after she came out here. Because I moved out here a year after I broke my foot, like I said, and I was waiting for my annuity money to put out down on the house, you know, I wanted to buy
Yeah.
a house. So I had to wait a year. So I got the money. I stayed with my mom. She had a brand new condo, but she got sick too. She died in '93, I think. But now I have a kid and another kid coming. I have a new house. I can't just pack up and go back. It's starting to get busy, you know. In the beginning, it was a little tough. The first day I moved here, I had like '79 Cadillac. It had rust holes in the roof. And I towed that with the truck all the way from New York. Almost fell off. It was crazy. So I get here, the first thing guy goes, he pulls my wife over. She goes, "How come you have New York plates on it? We just came here. You just got here." So the guy goes, "How come you got one of them radio stickers on the car?" So he caught my wife in a lie right away. So once they give you a ticket, you got to register after 60 days or something.
Yeah.
So I see them. It was a MGM Marina. I see them loading trucks. I said, "Let me go over there." And so I went over there. I asked them, "You guys need any help?" It was some production out of Florida. He goes, "Do you have a resume?" I go, "Yeah." So I had to go to Tropicana and Rainbow where my mom lived. I went there. This is before cell phones. I came back. I gave him my resume. By the time I got back home, he goes, "Come in here. I want to talk to you." So I was here for like 3 days. And I got a job running a light board, an old Kliegel Performer with those little cassettes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. But it was better than nothing, you know?
Better than nothing.
And then they had this turntable on a traveler track, and whoever put the turntable in, it was all crooked. So what they do is it all bunches up, folds like an accordion, and then they turn it around and use the other side. Because it was a tiny showroom, no rail,
And where was this at? Which
at the marina.
marine? Oh, the old marine.
It's a little
before it
tiny-
became MGM.
yeah, right.
Okay, gotcha.
That's when that guy, the golf course was next to it.
Yep.
I forget his name. Who was the guy who lived there? Some big shot.
Well,
singer.
Paul Anka used
Yeah,
to be
that's
there.
exactly
yeah.
right.
On the Tropicana golf course. Yeah.
That's when they used to give you nice shrimp we used to go to San Remo, get a nice piece of prime rib. They don't give you nothing no more.
Yeah, a little skimpy on things in the hotels now.
Yeah,
So
it's all about money. But anyway, so I got the job there, and I said, "We need to put some turnbuckles on it because they have to keep stopping the show." And my light board would dump out at least twice or 3 times a week. I had to reprogram, sit there. I was getting aggravated. Then they got the guy working on stage. I said, "What are they doing? I eat it on that show? The rags blowing, moving everything." I said, "You got to take it easy. It looks like there's elephants back there." That's how bad it was. The guy named Jimmy. So then
was it an IA gig or was that?
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Because I went to the IA right away.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, you got to paint signs. You got to do this. You got to do that." But they didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
But then I got to go over to the Aladdin to do something. And I stayed over there for a while, and then I worked for Dick Foster Productions. I did a lot of road shows with them, Spellbound, and all kinds of magic shows for about 5 years. Then I stayed at the TPA. I was a rigger over there. I love that theater.
Yeah,
It's my favorite theater.
It's a beautiful place, man.
It is. The grid is perfect. And then when everything started changing, they started building these hotels. I said to the guys, "Hey, you guys get a job in a different hotel so we can help each other out."
Yeah.
Somebody could lose their job, vacation relief. But that never happened. You know how that is. So then I worked at Harris as a TD for Dick Foster Productions. That's where Jim West was and them guys. Dave Neff, all them.
Wow.
He's still there, 25, 30 years. Don't even know it's
Really?
there. Oh, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Jim West retired with Dave Neff.
Wow.
And So I did that, and I did the Aladdin during the day, and I did the shows there at night. So I run myself a little ragged but so then after they closed the Aladdin, they came and tried to organize. You know, and that's when I started working for the IA here. Because I had to go back to get it took me 10 years to get my union card in New York. 10 years. It's like an apprenticeship.
Yeah.
They closed the list for a while, you know. So when I moved here, a year after I moved here, my number comes up. So now I got to fly back to New York. Cost me $1,000 for that. Cost me $1,000. They got a physical. They got to go get a real physical. They take X-rays, your lungs, everything.
Really?
Then it cost me $1,200 or $1,500 for my union card. So it cost me like $5,000 just to get my union card. But I didn't want to, you know, that's like local one card. So after the years gone by, I'm thinking, you know, I'm not using my card. Maybe I use it for road contracts here and there.
Yeah.
So they said I have to start all over again. I didn't even get a pension because I only had 9 years vested. That's when it was 10 years vested. They don't tell you, you know.
No.
Yeah, so I had 9 years vested. Because when you first start, you just do 4-hour calls, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what year did you start working out of the hall, out of the local 720?
I'm saying maybe 93.
93-ish, okay. So you were in town for about 3 years before you started getting some
But
calls out of
they
that.
just started coming looking around. Who's this guy now? You know? So we were doing good, you know. We were doing concerts there and everything. I had my guys trained. Guy from Detroit, he goes, I'm a painter from Detroit. I know nothing about up here. I said, you'll learn, don't worry. So I told him, tie a knot. He goes, you see that knot? It ain't coming out. I said, you sure as shit ain't? It looked like a horse dumped on top of the grid. Just had a bunch of overhand knots, Dave swear. He goes, that's a double D knot from Detroit. I said, it ain't going to come out because once it gets tension on it, that's why we make the knots we do, you know?
Yeah.
But he came, now he's a rigger over at Caesars. He's been there for years. I said, stick with me. You'll be sitting through silk underwear, buddy. But things kept going. Then Microsoft comes through when they first started at the Aladdin. I had to take the main curtain down, and it had all those drawers from the bottom, that Austrian.
Yep.
And we had to hang this big header, and I did it. You know, I knew how to do it. It was easy for me. And this guy Dick Wright came in with Microsoft, and that's where I met him. And then I used to go on the road with him. It just kept piling and piling. And then
make a couple good contacts, you're going to work yourself to death.
That's it, you know.
And that's what it is in this business. It's just you get a couple.
Well. I did real well. Between going on the road, half my salary was on the road with Microsoft with Dick. I was a rigger there for 20 years.
Yeah. And well, why don't we're going to stop that here. We've already done one episode, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll stop this episode right here, and then we're going to move on to what's been going on since '93.
All right.
That's only 30 years. So
I know, it's crazy.
we can talk about 30 years worth of stuff here. So, anyways, Talbot, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Should I tell you about the tiger biting somebody and all that shit? Whatever.